Well, I'm Jack.
And I'm Mel, and we're on to part 4 of Costa Rica.
So we're going down from up high, all the way down to the coast in Quepos, we think it is. And we set off, and we saw a lovely rainbow. But more than that, we also saw was a...
Well, you could see the actual continental divide. It was amazing.
Forest, no forest. And also, we had some cloud enthusiasts with us.
It was Ray, member of the Cloud Appreciation Society.
Excellent thing. And we stopped a few hundred yards later to take the viewpoint. This, my friends, is a view. Isn't that fantastic? Going all the way down to the Pacific. But we also had these fantastic clouds. And I think these poor people here were dummied into turning around by shouting out, "There's a sloth!" But there wasn't, of course. But there were.
You little trickster.
There were magnificent views, and by now we also liked the romantic viewpoints, so we took some there. Now, what's the name of this big heavy road that we came onto, Mel?
I think we're on the Pacific Highway.
Yes. This is the Trans-Pacific Highway, and it goes all the way from Alaska down to Chile. Isn't that quite amazing? Yes, it is. Thank you.
Just don't know how Henry did it, but I think they know that the nest was there. But all of a sudden we said, we're stopping for a detour. And there were these red macaws up in the tree that we sat and watched for a while.
Yeah. But we signed up for a tour, and we were going to go into...
We went on the Mangrove.
Yes.
Swamps.
It was really amazing. We got there, it was like the tide was halfway, so you could see loads and loads of the routes.
Yeah.
And we had a very knowledgeable, enthusiastic guide.
Yeah, he was quite sweet.
And they knew exactly where this little fellow here, who was a
little tiny anteater, anteater curled up in the tree, and we saw bats. This was incredible. They lined themselves up so they looked like a snake.
Yes, zigzag pattern. Yeah. It took me about 10 minutes to see them, but once you see them, it's kind of obvious. But really quite remarkable, I thought. You can see them there. There were lots of birds, as you'd expect, kind of hawky birds and whitey birds. You can see that we've all become experts, tiger herons, and all sorts of things.
We saw pelicans that we hadn't seen before, I think.
Yes, well, that was when we came up and out into the open.
Yeah.
You kind of got away from the mangroves, got towards the coast. Here's Paul looking very noble. He's worrying about the Stoke score, and Mel looking very happy because she knows that Swansea are going to win, and I'm looking confident. But then we saw this little family.
Yes.
That was sweet, wasn't it?
I guess it's getting towards the end of the day, and they were all starting to settle down, weren't they?
And then Mr. Pelican that you mentioned.
Yeah.
Fine looking chap, I thought.
Yes.
And we got out to the sea. But what was very nice now was that it was warm and sunny. And I think it wasn't just what we saw, but everybody on the boat was kind of chatting away happily, letting these gorgeous views slip past us.
Yeah, it was very peaceful, wasn't it, actually?
It was very peaceful. And the tide was coming up, so more and more of the roots of the mangroves were being covered up.
It's very atmospheric, and we were a jolly little crew. There weren't too many of us.
But look at this. I mean, I've got lens envy just looking at this.
Nancy and Bian, yes.
And then, here's the happy crew. And then we had to wait like 20 minutes at this little cafe, and bargain, there were the macaws across the road. So I was quite pleased with the 2 photographs I took, until I saw what Bian had managed to do with his 2 photographs.
Yeah, he took some good shots.
There had some very, very good shots there, so it was nice. And then back in the coach, getting dark.
Yes, also much, much warmer. So we're near the Manuel National Park now. Yeah. The temperature had gone up quite substantially.
Which is good, because I had promised Mel fine weather. We'd packed loads and loads.
So we're on the Pacific coast now.
I sang Happy Birthday to my son Daniel. But the next morning we were up early. Why were we up early, Mel?
Well, basically to get into the national park as early as possible. But even then it was like...
thousands of bored American teenagers.
Piccadilly Circus.
And your heart sank a little bit. We came across... We do like ant hills and stuff like that. So we came across that. But and a few other things in the initial.
Well, if I were an animal or a bird, I would hide from that lot. Frankly.
You could hear them coming.
Yes, it was quite a big highway for people to walk on. So it wasn't until we got to the end of the walk that there was an option, and we all voted to go and do the extra bit.
And that was great. So we hit the water, and if you look at this map, you can see there's this little kind of cathedral thing that we could walk around, and that was truly great.
Yeah, it was lovely. There weren't that many people on it at all.
We all went, didn't we? You know, there was jungles. There was this kind of funny animal-y thing. I've got no idea what it's called.
Can't remember its name now, but we could put it on the screen.
And you get to kind of various viewpoints and see the sea. And this is the Pacific Ocean now, and I've not. Well, goodness me, tropical paradise, getting hotter and hotter. Absolutely beautiful. Here we go. Only seen the Pacific Ocean a few times in my life, so that was
nice promise of a beach swim at the end of it all.
Very, very excited. Yes, it's easy. I think it's a male. So interesting vegetation, and we're kind of going along, and then something very unexpected happened.
Well, we spotted a little white-faced capuchin monkey on the fence.
So you were sent down first, weren't you?
Well, I walked forward to go and take a picture of it, and I was so engrossed taking a picture of it, I didn't realise a whole load of them coming up. Troop coming up behind, and I was quite sort of taken aback because they look sweet but also quite aggressive at the same time.
Oh, yeah, well, yes.
And so
there were
they looked like they might jump on you.
Yeah. There were mothers with babies, and they were. I think they had the same attitude to us. They were aware of us, but they cautiously went along.
Yeah, they kept their distance, and it was funny because when they thought that there was too much attention on them, they literally just dropped onto the balustrade and just hugged it and kept really still, like the squirrels do in the garden when they're trying not to be spotted. So we sort of took loads of pictures of them for a while. Yeah,
and then we hit the beach. Now we're out of the rainforests up high onto the beach, and that's got its own kind of lizards and coconut shells that are wrapping up. And what sort of crabs are these?
Hermit crabs?
Yes, they were fascinating. There were hundreds of
little shells scuttling around everywhere.
Yeah.
And a whole bunch of us just made a little camp and then went in the water together, which was lovely. And we were in the water for like half an hour.
You can tell there's a bunch of Brits because people are doing various tricks and things there.
It was nice just to wallow around in the warm water.
And then a very nice walk back. You can see the kind of all the vegetation all growing. And then we were hungry, so we went for a meal.
We had a most delicious piece of tuna, didn't we?
Absolutely fantastic.
And everywhere we went, we haven't really talked about it yet, but there was fresh fruit smoothies everywhere. Batidos, I think they were called.
Yes.
So just whizzed up fruit with a bit of ice.
Yes.
And then maybe a tiny bit of sugar syrup. Everywhere you went, you could order or whatever you wanted as a mix.
One of the things that amazed us about this holiday is that we ate like kings. We were absolutely stuffed 3 times a day, and yet we didn't put any weight on because it was all so healthy, all the food.
Yeah, healthy, natural food.
And then, of course, Mel doing laps of the pool, then at the hotel watching kind of vultures going around. Now, there was a nighttime tour, and these are photographs from the nighttime tour, Melly. Now, why didn't we go on the nighttime tour?
Because I don't like frogs and snakes and spiders.
I certainly don't like spiders.
We decided to have a cocktail at the bar with Jane and Steve instead.
It was fantastic. I think Steve enjoyed it. Look, he's looking very happy. So
we had a nice meal with Gerhardt and Henry as well.
Yes. We had just about all the meals were nice, and all the meals were kind of all of us. So that was great. That was another great day. And before we set off the next morning, I just popped down to the local beach. And it's quite something.
It's really hot already, wasn't it?
Yeah, with let's say 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning, really hot.
So we'd gone from really, really cold in Tortuguero to this sort of baking hot on the Pacific coast.
And then, as we were waiting, what did you spot?
Well, Hotel Garden was just full of monkeys.
Monkeys. Yes.
And there was a funny point where we saw one of them walking along, holding on, and it took us a while to work out the reason she was doing that. It's because she didn't have a tail to loop onto the wire, so she wasn't crawling along the wire like the rest. She was walking on one and holding onto another.
Yeah. So that was a great finish, and all very good. So that was another great day.
Ready to go to the next stop.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Early morning at the beach. What a fantastic place. There we go.